Thank you for this opportunity. I would like to sing two bhajans today. First one is Shri Gajanan bhajan, and second one is Vaishnava Janato. Gajavadana Gauri Nandana. I'll sing first line and then you all can repeat after me. He Gajavadana Gauri Nandana. He Gajavadana Gauri Nandana. रक्षा करो सबकी मंगलमय हो जीवन सारा मंगलमय हो जीवन सारा धार बहे सुख की हे गजवदना गौरी नंदना रिद्धि सिद्धि के दाता तुम हो विद्या के स्वामी रिद्धि सिद्धि के दाता तुम हो विद्या के स्वामी विघ्न विनाशक एकदंत हो तुम अंतर्यामी चिंतामणि का करे जो चिंतन चिंतामणि का करे जो चिंतन चिंता हरो उसकी मंगलमय हो जीवन सारा मंगलमय हो जीवन सारा धार बहे सुख की गजवदना गौरी नंदना विश्व विधाता विश्व विनायक जग के पालनहारे नाद ब्रह्म के तुम निर्माता सुरगण तुम परवारे तुम ही प्रेरणा तुम ही चेतना तुम ही प्रेरणा तुम ही चेतना आस है दर्शन की मंगलमय हो जीवन सारा मंगलमय हो जीवन सारा धार बहे सुख की गजवदना गौरी नंदना जय गजानन गौरी नंदन श्री गजानन जय गजानन गौरी नंदन श्री गजानन गणपति बाप्पा तव शरणं जय अष्टविनायक तव शरणं सिद्धि विनायक तव शरणं जय वरद विनायक तव शरणं जय गजानन गौरी नंदन श्री गजानन जय गजानन गौरी नंदन श्री गजानन जय शिव नंदन तव शरणं जय पार्वती नंदन तव शरणं भक्त वक्रतुण्डाय तव शरणं जय लम्बोदराय तव शरणं जय गजानन गौरी नंदन श्री गजानन जय गजानन गौरी नंदन श्री गजानन बुद्धिदाता तव शरणं जय विघ्न विनायक तव शरणं हेरंबाय तव शरणं जय मंगलदाता तव शरणं जय गजानन गौरी नंदन श्री गजानन जय गजानन गौरी नंदन श्री गजानन. Now I'll be presenting another bhajan, Vaishnava Janato. वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिजे पीड़ पराई जानी रे वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिजे पीड़ पराई जानी रे समदृष्टिने कृष्णा त्यागी पर स्त्री जेणे माता रे जिम्मा थकी असत्य न बोले पर धन न बजाले हाथा रे वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिजे पीड़ पराई जानी रे वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिजे पीड़ पराई जानी रे मोह माया व्यापी नहीं जेणे दृढ़ वैराग्य जेना रे राम नाम शु तालीर लागी सकल तीर्थ तेना तेना में वैष्णव जन तो जेने कहिजे पीड़ पराई जानी रे वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिजे पीड़ पराई जानी रे वन लोभीने कपट रहित छे काम क्रोध निवार्या रे वन लोभीने कपट रहित छे काम क्रोध निवार्या रे भणे नरसैया तेनु दर्शन करता भणे नरसैया तेनु दर्शन करता फूल एको तेरा तार्या रे वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिजे पीड़ पराई जानी रे वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिजे पीड़ पराई जानी रे पीड़ पराई जानी रे पीड़ पराई जानी रे.
भज मन राधे गोविंद, भज मन राधे गोविंद, भज मन राधे 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 गोविंद, भज मन राधे 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 गोविंद, भज मन वृंदावन संचारी, भज मन वृंदावन संचारी, भज मन राधे 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 गोविंद, भज मन राधे 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 गोविंद, भज मन यमुना तीर विहारी, भज मन यमुना तीर विहारी, भज मन राधे 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 गोविंद, भज मन राधे 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 गोविंद, भज मन राधे 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 गोविंद, कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय। अयोध्यवासी राम, अयोध्यवासी राम, अयोध्यवासी राम, दशरथ नंदन राम, जय जय जानकी जीवन राम, दशरथ नंदन जानकी जीवन, सीता वल्लभ राम, अयोध्यवासी राम, अयोध्यवासी राम, दशरथ नंदन जानकी जीवन सीता वल्लभ राम। सीता वल्लभ राम। वर्णानामर्थ संज्ञानां रसानां छन्दसामपि मङ्गलानां च कर्तारौ वन्दे वाणी विनायकौ भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धा विश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धा स्वान्तस्थमीश्वरम् नानापुराणनिगमागमसम्मतं यद् रामायणे निगदितं क्वचिदन्यतोऽपि स्वान्तसुखाय तुलसीरघुनाथ गाथा भाषा निबन्धमतिमञ्जुलमातनोति भाषा निबन्धमतिमञ्जुलमातनोति। हरि ओम। Okay, we welcome all of you to this last day of this yajna. We are seeing Sri Ram Gita of the Aranyakand of Ramcharitamanas, and Bhagwan has answered 4 of Lakshmana's questions. What is Gyan? What is Vairagya? What is Maya? What is the difference between Jiva and Ishvara? Those questions were answered. Now Bhagwan is answering Lakshmana's what is Bhakti. And I told you, really, we really cannot define Bhakti. It is a very difficult thing. In our Narad Bhakti Sutras, the sutra says, Satu Asmin Parama Prema Rupa. It is supreme love for that absolute or for that reality, for God, right? Supreme love. But then when you ask, what is the supreme love? What is love? Well, that is definition is very difficult for things which engage, which are connected with emotion. I feel anger. So let's suppose you say, how much? This much. You can't quantify, you see. Emotional things cannot be quantified. It's very difficult. So definition is very difficult. So what Bhagwan Sri Ram is doing then is describing the practice of bhakti. What things am I supposed to engage in? And the first one was, we saw last night, Pratamahi Vipracharana Ati Priti, great love for the feet of the learned ones, those who are endowed with great wisdom and knowledge. Nija karma nirata shruti riti. So like that. Now, Sant Charana Pankaja Ati Prema Manakram Vachana Bhajana Drira Nema. Last one we saw last night. Now, another practice of bhakti given in next line. Let us see this, and then we will be coming to the end of this bhakti portion. Then we will have question answers and all that later on. Okay, see this. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Ram. गुरु पितु मातु बंधु पति देवा, सब मोहि कह जाने दृढ़ सेवा। सिया राम मैं सब जग जानी, श्री राम जय राम करऊ प्रणाम जोरी जुग पानी। सिया राम में सब जग जानी, करऊ प्रणाम जोरी जुग पानी। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। In Gyan Marg, what we say, Ishavasyamidam Sarvam. The whole world is pervaded by Ishvara. Or Avinashi tu tadvidhi ena sarvamidam tatam. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina. Ishvara pervades the whole universe. In Bhakti Marg, what is being said here? Bhagwan Ram is telling to Lakshmana, see, Guru Pitu Matu Bandhupati Deva. See all of them as me. Who? Guru. The Guru is Bhagwan only. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara. See the Guru as Bhagwan only. Then Pitu, father, Matu, mother, Bandhu, brother, Pati, master, Deva, whichever Deva I worship. See that Deva only as me. Sabam Mohika Jane Dhrira Seva. And serve all of them as though you are serving me only. So this is the practice of devotion. See, and this actually is the most appropriate thing for us, all householders who are engaged in family life and all of this. Most important, that husband or that wife in the house, that child in the house, all of them is to be seen as the Lord, and then serve them as though I'm serving Bhagwan only. That we have to be very careful. In Trinidad here, all the food that is given to Bhagwan is only sweet food, I tell you. All Naivedya in Trinidad is only sweet. The people in Trinidad never give any Naivedya which has salt. It is considered to be a bad thing. So by now, Trinidadian Bhagwan must have diabetes, because he was only eating sweet things. So when we say see the other person as Bhagwan only and serve them like that, this is what the line amounts to. Please do not let this thing be confused with our duty to do certain things. So I see my son or my daughter or my husband or my wife as Bhagwan, and I give Bhagwan all the means to say, I have so much of love for Bhagwan, and I will do anything for these children or this husband or this wife, and we lose sight quite often of what is the proper thing to do. See, you want to, what happens, what causes it? Love gets confused with affection and attachment, and that is a big confusion in a human being's mind. So quite often parents spoil children. Even though I'm supposed to see Bhagwan in that child, parents spoil because of attachment and over affection. That is the problem. I cannot bear to see my Munna suffer like that. So anything Munna wants, give. So then what happens is, instead of really treating the child with love as the child is Bhagwan only, some other thing intervened inside of there. Love also will have hita, na? If love doesn't have hita, benefit, something is wrong. That means affection came and stole away hita. So anything he wants, I give. What about the benefit? Hita, the welfare. Affection threw that out the door. Very, very important thing. So when Bhagavan is saying, see, Guru, Pitu, Matu, Bandhu, brother, everybody is included there. See them as me only and serve them. Then there are certain things you don't also will not give to Bhagavan, isn't it? So when you go to give Naivedya to the Lord, do you give non-veg things? No. So to the Lord also we don't give certain things. So in the same way, when I see others, and that other person may want it, but I am supposed to say no, because I have to seek your welfare as well. But seeing all of them as my own Prabhu, and I serve them. What is meant is, just as I will not treat my Prabhu with any disrespect, or I will not treat my Lord with any anger or any such thing, in the very same way I'm supposed to treat all the others around us. This is the idea. And do seva for them. That means I am not taking care of my husband or my wife or my family or my child, or I am taking care of Bhagwan's child, Bhagwan's Srishti, Praja, like that. This is the idea. And now that next verse, very famous verse. The world's Guinness Book of Record holder for the most songs in the world is an Indian singer by the name of Lata Mangeshkar. I'm sure all of you will be hearing that, right? She sings this next Chaupai. She sang it many, many years ago, and it is very popular here in Trinidad also. People play it all the time. It is a very famous line, because great people made it famous, and also because of the content. They would have chosen this line, this Chaupai, because of the content. See now this next Chaupai. Mama gun gavat pulak sarira gad gad gira nayana bahanira Shri Ram Jaya Ram. काम आदि मद दम्ब न जाके तात निरंतर बस में ताके बोलो राम 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 सीता राम 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 बोलो बोलो राम 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 सीता राम 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 बोलो मम गुण गावत पुलक शरीरा गद गद गिरा नयन बहनीरा. In scriptures, this is the only rationale for crying, but people cry for every other thing beside this. Human beings cry for all worldly things, and for Bhagwan, nobody cries. Bhagavan says, singing my glories, Mama Guna Gavat, singing my glories. That person should get horripilation, hairs should stand on end, and the voice should become choked, and the eyes should stream tears, singing Bhagavan's glories. Hmm? There is nowhere in our scriptures who says when somebody dies, we should cry, or when we lose something, we should cry, or when we get insulted, we should cry. Any scripture tell anything like that? No. The one rationale given in scriptures for crying is having love and devotion for Bhagwan and letting our heart take flight into the glory of God. And that time, crying is given. See? Mama Guna Gavat, singing the glories of Bhagwan. And the eyes streaming down with tears. Kam, and then the next line says, Kam adi madadambana jake tat, he tat, he Lakshmana, nirantar basamai take. Anybody whose heart is bereft of, devoid of these things, I dwell in that person's heart. Or when I dwell in that person's heart means what? It means I am under the control of that person. That person captures me in his heart. That is the idea. Which person who is devoid of calm? Calm means lust and desire, like that. Adi. It is called Shadvikar. At the end of this same, see, Bhagavan says, Kam Adi Madadambana Jake. Kam Adi. Kam, etc. Then, at the end of this same Kanda, Aranya Kanda, Naradji will come there and he'll meet Bhagavan Ram. And again, Naradji will ask Bhagavan Ram certain questions. And then this Kam Adi will be explained. Kam, Krodh, Mada, Lobh, Moha, Matsara, ityadi. Like that. Huh? Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Matsara. And that last one, Kam, Krodh, Mada, Lobh, Moha, Matsara. Kam, Krodh, Mada, Lobh, Moha, Matsara. 6 Shadvikar will be given there. It is called as the 6 Vikara of the mind. So he says, whose heart is devoid of all of these things, and Mada is actually given here again. Mada means arrogance. People develop arrogance when there is some possession which they have, which other people do not have. That is called as arrogance. If I have money and the other fellow doesn't have money, then I become arrogant. I have knowledge, he doesn't have knowledge, I become arrogant. I have strength and power and all that, and he doesn't have. Then I feel I can speak down to him like that. That is called arrogance. Mother, Damba. Damba word we have seen before. Where? Amanitvam adambhitvam ahimsa kshantirarjavam. On the first day I told on this. Damba. Damba means ostentatiousness and vainness and all, showing off and all those kind of things. Whose heart doesn't have najaki, in whose heart these things are not there. Bhagavan says, I become under that person's control. And Bhagavan doesn't mind because he takes up residence in those people's heart, and that heart is pure and clean also and rent free. Bhagavan doesn't have to pay rent for staying in that heart, But he becomes under that person's control. And this is a very important thing in this Bhakti Marg, especially in this Ramcharitamanas. What? That a devotee's devotion, if it is intense and pure, that devotee can bring Bhagwan under his own control also. See how Bhagwan came to save that Gajendra. Bhagwan left there and came to save Gajendra. So the devotee's devotion becomes so powerful that he can move Bhagwan from wherever he is. Like Draupadi. Bhagwan left there, left his meal, ran bare feet all the way to Hastinapur. See? Because the devotee can bring the Lord under their control, like that. Bhagwan took a detour to go to Shabari's ashram. Bhagwan broke his vow also after meeting Shabari. He'd do anything for the devotee. But I will not go to anybody's house. Shabari dekhi Ram griha aaye. He went to Shabari's house. And he had taken a vow he'll not go to anybody's house. You see? So, he says here in this Aranyakand, he lifts his bow and arrow and says, I will eliminate every Rakshasa from this earth. See, very clear. Then he goes to Lanka and Vibhishan comes and surrenders. And he says, my vow is to protect the devotee who comes and surrenders. But Vibhishan is also a Rakshasa brother. 3 brothers were there. But he did not remove every Rakshasa. You see? He breaks his vow also for the devotee. Everything he does, he comes under the control of that devotee. This is the idea. Tat nirantara basamai take. Forever I am under that person's control. And in the Doha now, which is the last Doha of this Ramcharitamana, of this Ram Gita, number 16. The other is just conclusion. See this number 16. Vachan karma mana mori gati bhajanu karahine kamo Ram bhajan karahine काम तिनके हृदय कमल महु करऊ सदा विश्राम सिया पर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय सियावर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम. Very popular classification is given in the Sanskrit literature, and which is taken here by Tulsidas ji also in this Ramcharitamanas. If you see there in our Bhagwan Shri Ramana Maharshi's Upadesha Sar, Kaya Vangmana Karyamuttamam. You've seen this? Kaya Vang Mana. Kaya means body, Vang means speech, and Mana means the internal organ, Antakarana. So this classification is used very much in Sanskrit as well. So here Tulsidas in this Ramcharitamanas, he uses these 3. Otherwise, why I'm telling this in our Chinmay mission, you'll see a chart, we don't have a chart here. That's called BMI, body, mind, and intellect. So slightly different classification of the human anatomy. Here, Kaya Vangmana, see, Vachan, speech, Karma, which you do with the body, and Mana, the Antakarana. Morigati means all these 3, if they are concentrated on me only, Bhajanu, Karahi, Nikam means the person who does worship and who is without any kama. Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, kama is the enemy. Kama esha, krodha esha, rajoguna samudbhava. Tasmat jai shatrum mabaho kam rupam durasadam. Kill this enemy. So the one who worships Bhagwan, Bhajanu, worships that Lord, means who does bhajan. And bhaj, I told you, means worship. So who does bhajan? Who worships Bhagwan with a desireless heart and in body, speech, and mind dedicated to Bhagwan. He says, Jinke hridaya kamala mahu karau sada bishram. I stay forever in that person's heart. Hridaya kamal se, in the lotus of their heart, I stay. So what is required then in a simple bhakta's life? To be, see, kama adi madadamba na jake, means whose heart doesn't have any of these durgunas: kam, krodh, lobh, mada, moha, matsara. Whose heart doesn't have any of this, and who in body, speech and mind works and is dedicated to Bhagwan only. Bhagwan says, I dwell in their heart. Now people ask this question, what is Bhagwan? I dwell in their heart. And Bhagwan is already all pervasive. He's dwelling in everybody's heart. What? So that papi's heart has no Bhagwan or what? So that the meaning is, the Bhagwan, see, something can be there and be unmanifest or not. You think, na? Something can be there and unmanifest. For example, right now, there is air, or no, there is water in the air, right? This air has water, but to our senses, it is not manifest. You feel or what? Or you can drink. Something can be very much there and be unmanifest. So yes, Bhagwan is there in everybody's heart, but he doesn't manifest as he's manifest in the heart of a devotee. That is the meaning. Otherwise, questions like that come up. Oh, what do you mean I dwell in their heart? What about other people's heart? I don't dwell. So they're what? They're stone or what? I manifest most prominently in the hearts of such people. And in the end, he says, Bhagati Yoga Suni Ati Sukha Pava. See this ending. Lakshmana's response to Bhagwan's replies. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama. Bhagati Yoga Suni Ati Sukha Pava. Lakshman Prabhu Charanani Sirunawa. Ehi Bidhi Gaye Kachuk Din Diti. कहत विराग ज्ञान गुण नीति. श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम. Bhagati Yoga Suni, hearing about Bhakti Yoga. Lakshman heard all the other things also. Jnana Yoga, Ityadi, he heard. But hearing Bhakti Yoga Suni, Bhagati Yoga Suni, Ati Sukha Pava. Ati Sukha means he got extreme joy hearing this Bhakti Yoga from Bhagwan Ram. Lakshmana Prabhu Charanani Sirunawa. And that joy made him fall flat at the feet of Bhagwan Sri Ram. And this is the joy of bhakti. One revels in the Lord, but one is also so grateful to Bhagwan. Oh, he's been sustaining me all my life. I never thought of it. That reality has been my adhar, adhishtan, all the time. I never thought of it. I thought I was so independent and so, supporting my own self, and that so much of ego was there. But now I realize my Prabhu has been supporting me. Every breath, every pulse, my Lord has been supporting me. And this is discovered When this is discovered, lot of love and gratitude. And so Lakshmana falls down at the feet of Bhagwan Sri Ram. Ehi biti kaye kachuk din biti. In this way, they passed some days in that, what I told you is now called Panchavati. They passed some days in that Panchavati. Kata virag jnana guna niti. Speaking about Vairagya, Jnana, and Guna. Guna and Niti means speaking about various topics. And then the next line, Shurpanakha, Ravan ke bahini. See, the very next, I told her, the katha ends there, and suddenly knows of Shurpanakha, and she goes to tell Ravan about this and that, all things, vapre. And Sitaji is kidnapped as a result of all of that. You see? So she was not there. So this brings us to the end of this Sri Rama Gita, which comes in this Aranya Kanda. Okay, now we'll shift to another part of this program, and that is question and answers. Before I have the question and answers, let me say a thank you to Chimemission, Peoria, Suriji, and all the hard workers there at Peoria for organizing this yajna. We also have a team of dedicated workers here who assisted in the technical matters on this side. So a special thank you to everybody. And um, if there, there are no comments on that side, then we can go into question and answer. If Suriji wants to say a few words before we go into the question and answer, somebody will have to read the question and answers for me.
Hari Om Swamiji, thank you very much.
Hari Om.
I had it backwards. So I had questions and answers first and then announcements and word of thanks, but I can do the announcements and word of thanks and then we can go to questions and answers.
No, you can have question and answer now. You can do vote of thanks at the end. I'll leave time.
Okay. So Swamiji, for the sake of convenience, I documented these questions. There are 12 of them. I will read the question and then stop sharing the screen and give the control back to you. And then you can answer the question and then we'll go that way.
Good, good.
So I have on this slide 4 questions. First question is, Hari Om Pujya Swamiji, please explain why did Gautama Rishi and Bhrigu Maharshi curse Dandakaranya? Thank you, Swamiji, for pronouns.
I Gautama Rishi and Bhrigu Rishi cursed that Dandakaranya. But I said you all should go and do a little bit of research and see all that story and all. Yeah? So I will just tell briefly what happened. In that area, there was one Danda, king. He was the king, Danda. And he violated the daughter of that Bhrigu Rishi. And that Bhrigu Rishi got really angry and gave sharp to the Danda because that was his kingdom. So this is a very short answer. That is the answer. And then the Gautama Rishi was there also. That place, he used to have his own nice ashram and garden and everything. And then some other pseudo, I don't know what they were called, some people they wanted to get rid of this Gautama Rishi from there. So what they did, they sent an old decrepit cow that was about to die. They sent that cow there, and the cow came and ate one of Gautam Rishi's nice plant, for flower plant or something. And Gautam Rishi came here and just pushed the cow like this from eating that plant, and that cow fell down dead. And they accused him of Go Hatya. Now, if anybody is accused of Go Hatya, it's a big thing. Gautam Rishi realized it was a ruse by these people, and he gave a sharp to that place where they were all living there, like that. Okay, next question.
Next question, Swamiji, is question number 2. Hari Om, thank you, Swamiji, for teaching. Please explain again how the creation is both samsara and nirvana. How the changeless, unattached becomes changing and bound. Thanks.
It's the ultimate question of Vedanta. There is, you have to study a little bit about the whole idea of inherence. Huh? Inherence is a very, very profound and deep idea. And like, for example, water is inherently wet, correct? Wetness inheres in water. It is the very guna of water, without which it will not be water. Sweetness inheres in sugar. Heat inheres in fire, and heat and light. They're inherent things. You can't take them out. You may be able to separate them out intellectually. With your mind, you might be able to consider them separately and all, right? So in terms of thinking, you might be able to separate them, but in terms of reality, you can't separate the heat from the fire or the light from the fire. You see? Inherence. So this inherence is a deep topic, a very broad topic, and the reality has to be studied from this standpoint. Inherent in the reality is a power, a remarkable infinite power, to appear as the pairs of opposites. This is the idea. It is not that the reality brings it upon itself, or sometimes has it, sometimes doesn't have it. Like, it's not like sometimes water is wet, sometimes it is not wet and all that. Sometimes fire is cold and sometimes hot. No, inherently it is like that. So inherently the reality has this power, inherent power, to appear as fragmented, and the fragmentation is roughly along the lines of pairs of opposites. So the pairs of opposites run through everything. So you have night and day, good and evil, rich and poor, high and low, and you have saints and sages and crooks and criminals on the other side. All the pairs of opposites. And please remember, if from our standpoint we designate one side of the pair of opposite as undesirable or not good and all that, right? But from the broader standpoint, if you start thinking, you will realize that all the pairs of opposites, they are absolutely essential, both the sides. One cannot exist without the other. You can't have an atom only with positive charge. Everything has to be like that. So the reality has this inherent power by which it appears as the entire universe of the pairs of opposites. And from the broader standpoint, neither is good or evil. They're just complementary things. Okay, it's an inherent power. That is the this is the teaching of Hinduism. It is not that sometimes he decides I will create, and sometimes he decides I will do this. Inherently, this is going on eternally, forever. There's no beginning. Anadi Ananta. Okay. All right. Next one.
Third question, Swamiji. Is Hari Om, Swamiji, thank you very much for your time with us. Swamiji, as Grihastha, how do I move from Pravritti Karma to Nivritti Karma?
This is a nice question. Pravritti karma, nivritti karma. I use the word pravritti dharma and nivritti dharma. Those two words. Now, it is just a matter of change of attitude. The transition from one to the other is only a matter of change of attitude. So generally, when a child, from childhood, when a child is born, all human beings from that stage, we are really selfish beings. See, the child doesn't care about mother and father, whether they have to buy, borrow, or steal, or whatever, to get him his milk. He wants his milk, and he doesn't care about them, what they have to do to get it. He only cries, and I want my milk. So from that age, all human beings are selfish. And when we grow up and we graduate from school and all of these things and we go into the workaday world, that selfishness carries through, right? So I go to work and I'm seeing about my own self, making my bank account bigger, getting all material possessions for myself, and if anybody touches it, I break their hand, and all that kind of thing. It is all about me. So generally speaking, human beings are selfish like this, only thinking of themselves. When that selfishness, when the human being is exposed to satsang and exposed to, and he awakens all the good sanskars of previous births and all that kind of thing, he now comes to a position where he is able to work on that selfishness and introduce into his life more and more selflessness. So what is happening is he continues to do the same work that he was doing before, but just, you see, inside the bhav starts changing from one of selfishness, only thinking about oneself, to a broader understanding, a broader embracing of other goals and other people's feelings and other things in the world which are important. I'm not the all important being. There are so many important things in the world, and he starts working to further those other things in the world. And that's why Bhagavan is telling to Arjuna, loka sangraha means you have to look toward loka sangraha me vapi sampashyan. Look towards the benefit of the world, towards the benefit of the others. So when I go to work, I do the same work now, but I'm thinking, oh, when I do this work at, well, people in Peoria work at Caterpillar. When I do this work at Caterpillar, I see there are so many Caterpillar machines in Trinidad. Caterpillar machines I have seen in every corner of this earth. So when you do something in Peoria, in Caterpillar company, you have to see it from a broad perspective. Oh, if I don't go to work today, I will not make my contribution to people all over this earth. So you were doing the same work before, but you were only seeing it as a means of making money and taking care of your life. You couldn't see from any broader perspective. So a perspective change, and we say the bhav changes from selfish to selfless, and that goes on and on and on. It means the process of purification is a long process where I work totally selflessly. That is, I see that Bhagwan only is working through me to serve his humanity. So in this journey and this process, we move from pravritti dharma to nivritti dharma, when in the end is nivritti dharma. I really give up all this worldly thing, and this is just the last stages of the journey. I actually give up all of these things and I sit only in meditation. I only engage in those type of things that will bring to me mukti, total nivritti, cessation of all worldly activities altogether. I sit only in I engage only in spiritual things. So you don't worry about that. We also don't have to make any decision to do that. That will be a natural flow. Right now, engage in making the work from selfish to selfless, meaning look towards benefit of others, and let that continue. Total nivritti, or the cessation of all worldly things, that will happen all by itself. Nobody has to instruct about that. Okay, all right.
Next question, Swami, a little bit long one. So bear with me as I read. Hari Om Swamiji, one has to approach a guru and hear the teachings of the guru with faith and devotion. Arjuna surrendered to Lord Krishna and requested him to take him as his disciple. Lakshmana is the same. In this modern age and time, what are different ways in which I, as a householder, can find a guru or gurus? I always hear people saying they are listening to pravachanams and talks while driving, exercising. Is that enough as Ekalavya?
Okay, so whenever a student is ready, it is true that a guru comes into the life of that student. But ready for what? Ready for Atma Jnana. When a student is ready for Atma Jnana, a guru comes into that student's life. Okay. But until such a time, I have to go on doing things to make myself ready, right? And doing things means what? All sorts of things. So the best among them, we saw on one of the previous days, is to find myself in satsang. So there's satsanga going on there, satsanga going on there, wherever satsang is going on in my community and all. I must find myself there. And in today's type of um, world, such things are fast-paced world, and so many new things have come. Even such things are very difficult to find myself in satsang here and there, right? So what I have to do, I have to look for other substitutes. So looking at all of these, joining these satsangs online, looking at all the lectures and discourses and all such things on YouTube, listening in the car, all these are part of the replacement for what is supposed to have been done. Means find myself physically in some satsang somewhere. So these are all substitutes, replacements for that, right? They may not be as good, but something is better than nothing. So if these are the substitutes that are available to me, I go on doing. And all of this together, whether I listen on YouTube or I listen like this virtually and all of it together is really readying myself, making myself fit for some guru to walk into my life, that we don't have to worry about at all. See, if I am ready, that will happen. That is a natural law. If I am not ready, it will not happen. So we don't have to worry about that thing. Just get myself ready. That is all. And engage in all the various types of satsang. Now, when I engage myself in satsang, then there things will be taught. But you should sit and do japa. In satsang only, japa will be explained and he said encouraged and all that. So then you have to sit and do it. So all of this is also part of the getting ready. Come to the ashram or come to our fundraiser, do some seva like this. All of it is part of getting ready. And that other part will take care of itself. Guru will walk into our life. Okay. All right. Next one.
Thank you, Swamiji. Question number 5. Harivam Swamiji, in Valmiki Ramayana, Sri Rama Gita is in the Uttarakanda, while the same philosophy is expounded in the Aranyakanda of Sri Ramacharita. Are there any differences, and what is the significance with respect to both for placing this important Vedanta at different places?
Sometimes we can make differences. We can see there you can cipher out reasons why something happened in a certain way, right? But you can never be 100% certain about these things. You can give reasons. Okay, it happened like for example, I'll just see one very clear example comes in Bhagavad Gita also. In the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, there Arjuna is in a really bad state, isn't it? Psychologically, he is broken down. He's in a bad state. And in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, in that state of mind, Bhagavan tells there Atma Gyan. He immediately gives all the highest knowledge and all that kind of thing. Ashocyanan Vashocastvam Prajnavadancha Bhashase Gatasu Nagatasu Ityadi. He starts like that. Okay, now see. And then he starts telling about all the process of life, and you are eternal and I am eternal, and all that comes right in the Natvevaham Jatunasam Natvam Neme Janadipaha. Then we start thinking, but Bhagwan is seeing Arjuna in this state of mind. His mind is so disturbed and he's such a bad state, and he's giving Atma Gyan to why Bhagwan is giving Atma Gyan to Arjuna? And then it appears as though Bhagwan himself now realizes, well, nothing is going into Arjuna's mind. Then he comes down to, okay. If all this Atma Gyan and all of these things doesn't make any sense to you, you fight out of Dharma. You are Kshatriya. So Dharma apichaveksha. Navikampitum arhasi. My dear Arjuna, from your Dharma also. Fight from that. Like that. So he goes down to something lower and lower. In 12th chapter, he does again. If this doesn't work at this highest level, you come down here and you go like that. Okay. So that sort of thing is there. And there will be reasons for it. Bhagwan is not only teaching Arjuna, you have to remember that. So he'll be teaching the whole world And there will be students to whom that Atma Gyan works. It does something for them. So they get it in the beginning itself. They don't have to go and listen to the whole rest of things. You see? So Bhagavan does certain things like that for certain reasons. So here now the question is, this Arjuna, but this Lakshmana is given this Gyan now in Aranyakand, here in Ramcharitamanas. In Valmiki Ramayana, it is given there in the last Kanda, down at the end. So is there a difference? So it, like I said, you really cannot make any certain reply to these things, and you may suggest certain reasons that are there. So in Valmiki Ramayana also, very important thing is Bhagwan Ram sends Lakshmana to learn Niti from Ravan. You know, he sends Lakshmana to learn Niti from Ravan. In other words, it appears as though he wants Lakshmana to learn all the other things, and then the last thing he will learn is Atma Gyan, like that. In this Tulsi Ramayana, there's no such thing as sending Lakshmana to learn from there and all that sort of thing. So Bhagwan himself teaches Niti to, hey, see, we saw just now that word Niti means politics and policy development and all of those things, leadership and all such things, Niti. So Bhagwan himself teaches that. So he doesn't have to send there and then teach him. He teaches Gyan and he himself teaches everything at one time. So then that could be anywhere. Because remember, they meet Ravan later on in Ramayana. So like that, you can think up reasons. Huh? Otherwise, then you say, well, just author's style. That is all. Okay. Yes, next.
Question number 6. Swamiji, bhakti is love that sweeps us away beyond egoism, which requires dropping the barriers against it that we have built inside ourselves. Is performing karma yoga, purification of mind, not a prerequisite to make a dent in the egoism?
The answer is yes. A very short answer is that. Karma yoga is actually the rudiments of bhakti yoga. Karma yoga form the rudimentary stages of bhakti yoga. And the reason is karma yoga has a very important element which is called as Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. Dedication of what I am doing to Ishvara, to the Lord. Because karma yoga has this dedication to the Lord, that is the seedling for bhakti. Because now, previously I was doing it for me, but now I'm doing it for the Lord. So when I shift the attention from self-love, means loving myself, to loving Bhagwan, I'm moving from a state of selfishness to selflessness, and I'm really planting the seeds of bhakti. Because really speaking, we love who the most? Everybody love themselves the most. This is no joke thing. Huh? We love ourselves the most, more than Bhagwan also, I'm telling. Because when we, in our ordinary worship, in our ordinary practices and all, we really go to Bhagwan to ask him for things for who? For ourselves. In other words, Bhagwan becomes an accessory to gain things for me. Now, that type of thing is totally selfish. So karma yoga requires now I work and whatever I'm doing, I dedicate to that Bhagwan. So that karma yoga is, in other words, it's a means to shift the attention from me to Bhagwan. And that is really the seedlings of bhakti. To shift the attention from the person to the Lord. The Lord is everything. Guru Pitu Matu Bandhu Pati Deva. Lord is everything. So the seedlings of bhakti yoga is really found in karma yoga. The maturing of karma yoga really is bhakti yoga. Okay. Yes. Next one.
Question number 7. Why do bhakta sevakas who do a lot of good karma still experience papa karma.
So I explained in one of the previous days, you remember that we have had countless lifetimes and we have done countless karma, isn't it? And there is nothing, actually, it is impossible for all results of only one type of karma to come to us. That is not possible, because the requirement for the transpiring of the universe is the positive and negative charge must be there together in the atom. You remember the whole universe is built on atoms, and the positive charge and negative charge must be there for the atom to function and therefore for the universe to function, isn't it? Both the charges. Because that is a rule of the universe. In the very same way, results of karmas that come to us from previous births have to be both positive and negative. Positive ones alone cannot come. So while let us say I am enjoying puja because of purva janma sanskar, I like puja and I'm sitting and doing puja, but then my knee is paining at the same time. So I have the joy of puja because of purva sanskar, but my knee is also paining. So the negative result also is coming. Then one knee starts paining and both knees start paining now. And I have to sit there. And the Pandit ji, it seems to be going on more and more when that puja is going on, let us say. So the positive karma is there and negative karma, always mixed. Human beings may have a very good ability to overlook one of them, but that doesn't mean to say that it is not there. It has to be there by necessity, because the pairs of opposites, they are complementary. So yes, we may have done a lot of good karma, but we have also done a lot of bad karmas, and the results of them must come. And they don't come like all the results of good karmas come and then all the results of bad karmas come. No, nothing like that happens. Even though human being may say when it rains it pours, we make up all such statements and all, but those things are not absolutely true. It's just a matter of you're having a bad spell. In Sanskrit, you could never have bad spell because there's no spelling in Sanskrit. It's a phonetic language, Only in English you could have bad spell. Anyway, so yes, the good karmas, good results and bad results, karma phala, they come together. That is all.
Question number 8, Swamiji. Namaskar and thanks. Can you please throw some light on how Lord Krishna explains who is a true devotee, Bhagavad Gita chapter 12? Who is, I think the question is, explain who is a true devotee, as defined in Bhagavad Gita chapter 12. Brother Lakshmana was a true devotee and a vairagi. Was this a result of his jnana from previous births?
Well, see, everything which we are, whatever I am today, let us say I am a true devotee, that certainly is a result of purva janma sanskar, and in this janma also, all the things that I have done, I have acquired jnana and done all the practices of bhakti, and whatever I have done, that I am the result of that thing now, right? That is true. And the opposite also, if I suppose I am an evil person now, it's because I am doing predominantly all of these things for so many, means recent lifetimes coming, I engaged in this thing. So yes, whatever Lakshmana is now, he is the representation of the jiva. The jiva is the result of all his karmas. But the true devotee, which is given by Bhagavan Shri Krishna there in 12th chapter, is the one who has all of those great qualities. Starting from verse number 13 or so, you will see there, you go and read all Adveshta Sarva Bhutana Maitra Karuna Evacha Nirmamo Nirahankara Samadukha Sukakshami, all such qualities, you go there, and you will see Aniketa Sthiramatihi, and all such qualities. Those qualities characterize a true devotee of Bhagwan. One who is santushta satatam yogi yatatma drira nishchaya, all the time contented, who is forgiving, who is alert, daksha, aware. And devotees are required to be aware and alert also. So see all of those qualities. So many qualities are given there. Those qualities characterize a true devotee, because a person cannot have love for God and still hate animals. Adveshta sarvabhutanam. All creatures he has to love. You see? Because Bhagwan is there in all things. Siya Rama mai sab jagah. Oh, we had chanted. It was not there in that passage, but it's a very famous verse of Ramayana. Ram is there in everything. So that is a true devotee, is who is that is given there. And how that person will become a true devotee? Only about lifetimes of self-application. You cannot just sit there and hope that some miracle happens. You open your mouth and wait for what is that? The lion, nahi suptasya simhasya pravishanti mukhe mrigaha. Means that there, the lion sits there and opens his mouth and he is hoping a deer will come in his mouth and he'll eat. It never happens. Nahi. So if I am going to be that true devotee of the Lord, I have to make that self-application to practice all the things that were given here. You see, have reverence for these learned ones, because the learned ones are the ones who are going to remove my ignorance. Moha janita dukkha. Remove that moha, the dukkha will go, because the dukkha is a direct result of that moha. So with their knowledge, they remove that moha, dukkha will go away. So now I have to have reverence for these learned ones, you see. Vipra. All right.
Question number 11, Swamiji. Question number 10. No, question number 9. Sorry. Hari Om, my name is Sushant Khadi. I am a member of Chinmaya Mission at home. May I ask this question? Just like the final vision of Jnana Marga, that I am all of it, Aham Brahmasmi. What is the final vision of Bhakti Marga? Can Swamiji enlighten us on this aspect, please? Thank you for this opportunity.
Yes, in Bhakti Marga, they say that after I get knowledge, Gyan, then I develop what you call a supreme love for Bhagwan, means unflinching, unwavering love for the Lord. So in Bhakti Marg, what is envisaged is still a retention of a Bhakta Bhagavan relationship. That there's still me and there's Bhagwan. But my love for Bhagwan is so overwhelming that there is no chance that I can love, that love can ever wane or get less or any such thing. Now, in Bhakti Marg, they describe mukti as salokya, samipya, sarupya, and finally sayujya. That's now what is the meaning? In Bhakti Marg, one can, when one gets mukti, one can go to the same world as his Lord. They call salokya. Or he can go to the same world as his Lord, and he can also be close. He can see his Lord every day, every moment. Samipya. Then sa rupya means he'll have the same form. Bhagwan has 4 arms, he'll also have 4 arms. He'll have the same form. So any one of those forms of mukti. And in any one of those forms, he still has supreme love, unflinching, unwavering love for Bhagwan. And in that same Bhakti Marg, that Sayujya means merging with Bhagwan. That is the type of mukti we speak about in Vedanta. So now, if I, like a drop of water merges with the ocean, if I merge with the Lord, well then there is no retention of any individual identity, isn't it? So in Bhakti Marg, one of the other 3 will have to be there, where the individuality is retained and the devotee worships Bhagwan. Or he adores Bhagwan. Like that. But once the individuality is merged with the Supreme, then there is no such thing as any devotee there to worship any Bhagwan. And therefore, like our Bhagwan Shankaracharya has written, na guru, naiva shishya, there is nothing thereafter. Na sattan nasaduchyate, it is not sat, no asat or anything, because there is no individual to worship any whole. That demarcation between individual and whole, they disappear. So for the bhakta to love God, he has to retain his bhakta hood. Not a hood on his head, his nature as a bhakta, and know that there is a Bhagwan of which he is a part of also. He'll have that knowledge, but he retains his individuality to worship. Okay. So this is the mukti of Bhakti Marg.
Process 6, Swamiji, it's 7:41. So we have 3 more questions to go.
Okay.
Question number 10. Hari Om, is the human quest for happiness the ultimate, or should one strive towards transcending not only sorrow but Succumb as well?
Yes. In Vedanta, we teach very clearly. So, nirdvandvo nityasattvastaha. One is supposed to go beyond all joy and sorrow, beyond all the pairs of opposites. We say we drop everything. Means we don't, oh, I'm looking for sukha. I want to drop dukkha, but I'm looking for sukha. No. All pairs of opposites will have to be dropped, because the reality is beyond all the pairs of opposites. Like I just quoted to 13th chapter. He says that reality is neither sat nor asat. Those pairs of opposites we describe it at our level. Reality has no description. It is indescribable, anirvachaniya. And nirupama, it is without any comparison or any such thing. So we can't say anything about it. So yes, at the highest stage, at the last leg of our journey, we drop all sukha also. It's all the pairs of opposites. Okay.
Question number 11, Swami. Hari Om, Vipra Charan is followed by Sant Charan. Doha numbers are given there. And Swamiji explained the Brahmana Varna along with the Pankaja of the Sant yesterday. What is the thought process of mentioning Vipra first and then changing to Sant 2 Chaupais later?
Yeah, this also is actually coming in the same vein in which we are talking about now. You see, Vipra word has actually Visheshena Prajna. So that includes, or this has, if you look at the word itself, the nirukta of the word, you will realize that it has something to do with the acquisition of knowledge, isn't it? Vipra, which I was just telling also, because we have moha janita dukkha, this dukkha which is the result of moha, and so the moha needs to go away. Another way to say moha is as avidya. So the Vipra is the one who has the knowledge that will be imparted to me to remove the ignorance or the delusion. Then the dukkha will go away. But this has to always be the first stage. Now the person who has gotten that knowledge, the person who has gotten that knowledge, when that knowledge is applied to his own self, means what? The supreme knowledge. Oh, I am neither man nor woman. I am neither sat nor asat. I am neither what human being nor animal. Means he transcends all of the pairs of opposites, and any of the what we call evil things of society or good things also. See, I am such a vidwan, I have so much knowledge, I am so well known, I am so famous. These are all the this side, and the other side, he's such a rascal. None of it comes into the heart. That's why we said the word comes there, pankaja. The sant is like that. Even though he has acquired all of this knowledge, so much, he identifies with none of it. So the Vipra stage is a preceding stage. The Sant stage is a later stage where he identifies with nothing. He is not Vipra also. And Sant, he also doesn't call himself Sant. We call. You see? So the order in which it is given there is very wonderful order. Vipra is the first stage of knowledge, acquiring knowledge to remove ignorance. Later on, is the giving up of all identification. I am not Vipra. That's why it says our saints and sages, they are of no species. Means they are not Hindu, not Christian, no Muslim. They are beyond all of it. You see? Okay.
Last question, Swamiji. Hari Om Swamiji, thank you for teaching us Rama Gita for the last 6 days. Can you please clarify how both Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga will help us in realizing our true self? Thank you.
Okay. So it is well known that human beings are of different types. And yesterday or the day before yesterday, I was telling that really most people in the world are naturally bhaktas or bhakti marg is more natural to people. The reason being that we are more emotional beings than intellectual beings. So it is known that people are predominantly emotional, or the minority predominantly intellectual. That is a known thing. Some people are very intellectual, don't want to hear anything about all of this bhakti and all. You know that. So the whole idea in the Shastra is to utilize your talents or to utilize what is at your disposal. So if I am an emotional type, so the Bhakti Marg is teaching me, therefore, it will teach me, therefore, how to utilize those emotions to realize God, how to redirect and channel those emotions to realize God. And if I am predominantly intellectual of that type, then the Gyan Marg will show me how to utilize that intellectual power, intellectual might to realize that reality. You see? So both the things are there in the Shastras, and it is designed for, well, not designed, design is a natural thing. They are there to treat the type of personality that we are. Now, it is also true that a person might be a wonderful blend between two people like that, isn't it? Like a blend between the two of them. Like, for example, one fellow in a band, he'll play only saxophone. Piano, there he'll not look good there even. Only play saxophone. But there are many musicians who here, especially in Trinidad, you'll see that musician will play anything in that band. Any musical instrument in that band. Some people blend things very nicely. Some people are not so good at blending. That is okay also. Yeah. They go and buy a blender only. They can't blend anything. So the Bhakti Marg is there to treat a person who is predominantly emotional. Now, I must say one more thing. Look, whichever Marg it is, Bhakti Marg or Jnana Marg, please remember, a human being is a composite being. It is not that my emotional faculty is left in my room when I come here, or my intellectual faculty is left in safekeeping in the bank. The human being is a composite being with all his faculties intact, and sooner or later the two will meet up. Even though, let's say, at this point I am totally intellectual, I'm totally emotional, or whatever, sooner or later, when one pursues any one of these paths, the two will come. Therefore, you see, what an intellectual Bhagwan Shankaracharya was. How much of jnana, how much of bhashya and all that. And then in the end, in the last stage of his life, then what happens? All the great stutis and all the great forms of Bhagwan. Correct or not? So many stutis and praise only of all the different forms of the Lord. Like that. So the bhakti part or the emotional part will catch up at some time. Pujya Gurudev, what an intellectual of the 20th century, where you'll find a towering personality when it comes to the intellect. But you have to see our Pujya Gurudev go there and stand in front of our Jagadishwara in Mumbai and then look at Jagadishwara. So no matter what great intellectual person may be, the bhakti part will catch up. And then the bhakta, he may only emotion crying, or whatever type of emotion he's expressing and all that kind of thing. Somewhere, if he doesn't apply his intellect, or the intellectual part does not come, he will be misguided like anything. Intellectual guidance has to be there. He has to apply his intellect at some point in his journey also. So they must meet somewhere down the line. So one being predominantly, this or predominantly, that is its earlier stage. Somewhere there, they meet. So whatever you are predominantly now, just follow. Everything will be fine. Okay.
Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you all the people who have posed the questions. We'll move on to the next part of the program, a brief word of thanks, and then followed by Aarti. On behalf of Chinmaya Mission Peoria, I would like to offer our devoted pranams to our most revered Guru, Swami Prakashananda ji. All of us who participated in this e-satsang of Sri Rama Gita felt honored and, more importantly, humbled by your inspirational message on Vedantic aspects contained in Sri Rama Gita. Your crisp and lucid message on selfless service and bhakti yoga will definitely inspire us to move towards practicing the golden nuggets contained in the timeless answers by Bhagavan to the universal questions from Lakshmana. Swamiji, any number of words will not be enough to describe the impact from your message on all of us during this session and the previous sessions before and the sessions to come in the future. Swamiji, you made it very, very easy for all of us, making this e-satsang look like as though you are here in Peoria with us, except that we missed the honor and privilege of hosting you and masala chai that you that you are very famous for, in addition to several things that you are very good at.
I remember every morning the two of us were grinding masala.
Thank you, Swamiji. I'm sure we will have future opportunities to see you in person in Peoria in the very near term. That is probably next year. We'll try to get on your calendar and bring you over here once everything gets freed up. I think we are on that way. So thank you, Swamiji, again for taking the time and fulfilling your commitment and reminding me. When I was in India, you reminded me we have this. So thank you very much for straightening me out. In addition, give him a big round of applause for all the things that he has done. Several people have contributed to the success of this program. I would like to recognize thanks to Chinmaya Mission Trinidad and Tobago team that Swamiji mentioned, specifically Arunaji, Shivannaji, and Vaniji. We didn't realize when we set up the meeting that they are 2 hours ahead of us. On a couple of nights before we started this, they got on and tried to teach us on how to go about doing this. We were very straightforward in saying we were doing it for the first time. So they helped us trying to get things organized, and I hope we have been able to follow their advice and implement it properly. Also, on the receiving end, from the Chinmaya Mission Peoria technical team, we could not have put this program together without their help. And not only receiving the message, but making it happen, I think it's flawless at this point in time. Also, every day we had singers who chanted bhajans for us. These are Abhay Konunur, Chaitanya Jujuvarapu, Vibhav Adavi, Trupti Hatyangadi, Padma Achanta, Deepashri Patak Shetaji, and Arati Kulkarni. Thank you very much for it's very difficult to do the bhajans solo. I know you are sitting at home and trying to make this look like a bhajan, and you did a nice job. Thank you very much. And all, please give them a big round of applause for making that happen. And finally, all attendees, including several acharyas, brahmacharis, brahmacharinis, chicks, some of them who are the singers are also chicks, and most of us grihasthas from all places in US, Canada, and Trinidad. Without your participation, we would not have been able to bring this together. And every day, seeing your participation encourages us to put in more efforts to make it happen. Thank you again, and we are looking forward for another this kind of event in the future. Thank you all. Now we will move on to the next part of the program, which is Arati. Swamiji will sing the Ramayana Arati, and we will be doing Arati here. And then we will conclude with the final Arati slokas. So with that, Swamiji, I request you to sing Ramayana Arati.
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की। आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की। गावत ब्रह्मादिक मुनि नारद वाल्मीकि ज्ञान विशारद। सुख सनकादि शेष अरु सारद बरनि पवन सुत कीरति निधि। गावत वेद पुराण अष्टदश छौ शास्त्र सब ग्रंथन को रस। मुनिजन धन संतन को सर्वस सार अंश सम्मत सब ही की। संतत शंभु भवानी अरुघत संभव मुनि विज्ञानी। व्यास आदि कवि बर्ज बखानी कागभूषुंड गरुड़ के ही की। कलिमल हरनि विषय रस फीकी। सुभग सिंगार मुक्ति जुबती की। दलन रोग भव मूरियमी की। तात मात सब विधि तुलसी की। Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Bolo Siyaavar Ramachandra ki jai, Pavan Sut Hanuman की जय, मापति महादेव की जय। बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय, सतगुरुनाथ महाराज की जय।
न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकं, नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कृतोऽयमग्निः, तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं, तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति। ॐ एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्ति प्रचोदयात्। ॐ वागीश्वरै च विद्महे ब्रह्मपत्नी च धीमहि तन्नो वाणी प्रचोदयात्। ॐ गुरुदेवाय विद्महे परब्रह्मणे च धीमहि तन्नो गुरु प्रचोदयात्।
Hari Om.
Hari Om.